Episode 5. The day everything changed. The morning of Godoze arrived like all great days arrive. Too bright, too loud, carrying the weight of anticipation so heavy it made the air thick. The village had been preparing for a week. The square at the center of Brokewais had been swept and raked and swept again. Cola nuts had been broken and the ancestors invoked. The palm wine sellers had set up their calabashes in rows so precise they might have been measured, which they had been because the palm wine sellers of Brokewais took their geometry seriously. The warriors came to the square in their ceremonial armor, and the effect was formidable. These were not men who had dressed for a fight. These were men who had become the idea of fighting, given flesh. Armor of hammered iron and cured buffalo hide. Shields painted with the colors of their lineages. Faces painted with white clay in the patterns that each warrior's mother had painted on him for his first fight. The drums spoke the deep language of Godoze, not rhythmic in the way of dance music, but rhythmic in the way of hearts, irregular and organic, the pulse of something living. And then Bo arrived. He did not enter the square so much as the square reorganized itself to receive him. He came through the eastern entrance to the drum acknowledgement that was his alone. 3 deep beats followed by a silence that was louder than the beats. Wearing his full battle regalia for the first time since the last Godoze. The armor of deep-cured buffalo hide was oiled until it shone amber in the morning light. The iron axe rested against his shoulder with the ease of a walking staff. His ritual face paint was the marks of 20 years of undefeated Godoze. He was magnificent. He was the word magnificent given a body, and the body given armor, and the armor given the absolute confidence of a man who has never once, in his adult life, been given adequate reason to doubt himself. I watched from the women's side with the expression she always wore at Godoze, proud and troubled simultaneously. The expression of a woman who loves a warrior and has never fully resolved the contradiction of that love. The other warriors made their declarations. There were good fights. The crowd was satisfied. The palm wine moved. And then a sound began at the northern entrance to the square that was not the drums and was not the crowd. It was laughter, the specific, helpless laughter of people who cannot help themselves. And it moved through the gathering like a wave. Maraye walked into the square. He had dressed himself with genuine intention. He wore a warrior's cloth of good blue cotton, wrapped and tucked with the formal precision of a man who had practiced the arrangement more than once. He had borrowed a short sword that was slightly too large for him, hanging at his hip at an angle that suggested ongoing negotiation between the weapon and its wearer. He had painted his face with white clay in the warrior's pattern, though the execution suggested he had done this in a mirror with his left hand while thinking about something else. He walked into the square with his chin up and announced in a clear, carrying voice that he, Maraye, son of Ikeji, declared his intention to fight for the woman Ayi. The square erupted in pure, physical, uncontrollable mirth. Warriors who had not laughed in years found those expressions dissolving. Children shrieked. The palm wine sellers laughed so hard that several calabashes were tipped. It was into this gale of laughter that Bo turned and looked at Maraye. He looked for a long moment. Something moved in his amber eyes, something complex, something that moved through amusement and out the other side into a territory that is harder to name. Bo laughed. He laughed from somewhere deep in his massive chest, a laugh that had genuine delight in it. He laughed until the young warriors nearest him, sensing the direction of things, began their own harmonizing contributions to the general atmosphere, and the square became a symphony of mockery so full-throated, it verged on celebration. And then Bo did something no one expected. He reached up and unclasped his armor. Piece by piece, with the methodical attention he gave to everything, he removed it. The chest plate, the shoulder guards of hammered iron, the great battle axe he set against the base of the nearest market tree. He stood before the village in nothing but his fighting cloth. "I will fight this man," he said, in a voice that carried the length and breadth of the square. "With my bare hands. It would be disrespectful to do otherwise." The square went silent. Then it erupted again. Laughter of a different register now. The laughter that acknowledges a man who is so sure of his power that he can afford to be funny about it. Several young warriors, seated too close to Bo and caught in the enthusiasm of the moment, added their own bodily commentary to the proceedings, an aromatic ensemble that the afternoon breeze distributed democratically, causing the nearest sections of the crowd to disperse briefly and return with tears in their eyes for reasons only partially connected to humor. Maraye thought to himself, the visit to the chief priest had been worth every step of those 5 days. Imagine Bo taking off his armor. Episode 6. The fight. The twist. The truth that will break your heart. Because what you don't know, what no one in that square knows, is that Bo has a secret. And when the punch lands, you'll finally understand why Maraye had to die. Subscribe now. Episode 6 drops in 2 days and you cannot miss the ending. People are going to be talking about this twist for years. See you in the final episode.